Hi everyone, welcome to Microbiology Lab Online. And I'm kind of excited about this because this is the first time I will be teaching this course that I have been working on for almost a year now. Putting together a meaningful experience for you has been a real chore, and it has been, I've had to learn a lot and figure out a lot of things. So I'm hoping this is a cohesive, meaningful, organized, helpful experience for you this semester. That being said, it is the first time I'm offering this section. Now, I've taught microbiology for 25 years, but it's the first time I'm teaching Lab Online. And if anything seems kind of not right or not working or whatever, just let me know, because you guys are going to hopefully give me some feedback to improve on this course. That being said, like I said, I have 25 years experience doing this, teaching microbiology, and so I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't, and I have pretty good experience teaching online. So we'll see, and I hope we have a lot of conversations about what's working and what's not working for you, and the semester just goes smoothly. So here we go. So my name's Brenda Gustin. You can call me Brenda or you can call me Dr. Gustin. Either one is fine, but if you email me, don't just give me a hey you or send me an email without any address, without any information on my name, or say hello or anything, because it's really hard to feel like you have connections with students when you're teaching online. And so if you write a friendly email, that's really helpful and I appreciate it. So obviously you found the start here because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this. And by the time I'm done with this video, I will have put the start here up here, the start here video, this video in the start here section. And this McGraw-Hill Connect thing is just here in case you need to find the McGraw-Hill Connect site. You'll be able to access your video or all your assignments, your McGraw-Hill assignments through this, but probably more likely you'll go to the links that I create in each one of the modules. And you'll see that as you go through. So you may never use this here. If you go to the lecture section, you will, there's a little video on how to register for McGraw-Hill Connect, and it tells you go to your first assignment and you can make a McGraw-Hill Connect identification or account. And once you do that, you can use that same account to access the lab materials. So let's go. What I would recommend is for you to go to the syllabus, and here you go. In the syllabus section, I've written a syllabus with lots of details in it, and I would click on that syllabus if I were you. In fact, I would print it out. Use the download link right here, and you get that and you print it out. The syllabus, most of the syllabus information is on the lecture syllabus, but I also included syllabus information specifically related to lab. This semester you can probably look at lab and lecture as separate courses since we have two different instructors, although we do work together in designing this and all. So, but treat it kind of like two different classes, because I think it kind of feels that way with so many assignments in the summer. Also remember, if you were taking microbiology lab in the summer and you were taking a live lab, you would have been in lab about 9 hours a week. And so when you're thinking some of this is taking a long time, I'm trying to fill 9 hours of work. Now the first week we would have just had 2 labs, so it would have just been 6 hours. And between the lab assignments that I have and the extra work you have to do, hopefully it'll be about a very similar experience. So here's my name. Like I said, you can call me Dr. Gustin or you can call me Brenda. Either one is fine. There's my email. The best way to reach me is by email. I try to check my email frequently to make sure students aren't having problems, and I try to get back to you if it's something urgent. There's my office, and I don't specifically schedule office hours because I never know when online students are going to be around. It's kind of, that's the beauty of online. But if you want to talk to me, email me, or we can set up a Google Meet meeting if you want to talk virtually, or I can meet you in my office and we can agree upon a time. So I'm pretty flexible about all that. There's the course description and the learning objectives, which are the same as the lecture. The course materials are the same as the lecture. You're going to be using that same textbook and the McGraw-Hill Connect. I have a lot of virtual labs that I use in McGraw-Hill Connect, so you absolutely have to have that to be able to do this course. So once you go in lecture and you do that registration for McGraw-Hill Connect, remember we have first day access, which means if you go to the Brightspace page and you go to your first assignment, you will be able to register for this. You'll pay for the materials on your college bill. The format of lab is I have the lab sessions you'll get a lab book. You'll get a chunk of the lab book in each one of the modules that I set up on Brightspace. It tells you what you're going to do that week. Each week is divided into a part 1 and a part 2. And technically, I could just say, okay, we have 5 weeks of class and everything's due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. But from my experience of teaching online classes, students wait till the last minute. And I'm going to tell you there's probably too much lab and lecture material for you to wait till the last minute. So we decided to make all the deadlines on Wednesdays at 1 minute before midnight and Sundays. So that's all clearly outlined, and I'll show that to you. Let's see. The syllabus has all that on there, so it's towards the end there. The lab assessments, we have a lot of virtual labs, lab assignments, lab quizzes, lab practicals, and it says full credit is earned for virtual labs and lab assignments by completing them by the due date. If you are late, you can, if you don't get them done by the due date, if you get them done, oh, here it says down here, if you get them done by the next due date, which could be, if the original one was on Wednesday, the next due date is on Sunday. If you get it done by the next due date, you can earn up to 50% of the points, but not any more than that. So it's worth doing it, but to get some of the points, but try not to get too far behind. The lab quizzes are things that I would create on Brightspace, and they are, you'll just see, they're generally, when you do the lab handout, they're generally just some of the questions from the lab handout. So it's just a way to ensure that you're doing the lab handouts. And then our thing that's worth the most points are the lab practicals. And we have 3 lab practicals where you have to actually remember some of the material from the labs that you're doing. And again, I'll show you the schedule and you'll see what material that is. But, and there's going to be pictures and different kinds of things that you're going to answer questions about what you did in the labs. Here talked about missed tests and assignments. I just mentioned that. And your course grades, grades for the entire course are, the description is listed on the lecture syllabus, but for lab, you earn 310 points. And between the lab points and the lecture points is the grade you'll be assigned. You'll have one single grade for microbiology. What I will do is at the probably the beginning of each week, I will tally up the points that you've earned in lab so far. I'll get them off of Brightspace, and I'll put them in the page in your lecture section. So you'll see your grades in lecture, but there'll only be one column for lab. And at the beginning of each week, I will update that column. So you'll be able to tell for the entire course what your grade is at any time. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll be filling in your lab grades on our grade sheet in Brightspace in our lab section. So you'll see all your grades in lab. They'll be updated in the lecture section once a week, usually at the beginning of each of the week 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is a detailed summary of lab. And so week 1, part 1, you're going to do lab 1, which is posted in the module that says week 1, part 1. And the assessments are also in that module. or they're in that lab handout. And the VL stands for virtual lab. And on this syllabus, I just put like the initials to each of the virtual labs. They each have a title. You'll be able to figure them out. But these will also be the same titles that show up on the grade sheet, so I don't have these big long titles there. You'll see these virtual labs is just worth 1 point, but just by doing it, you earn those points. And you can see all of these, which are described in this lab handout, are due on Thursday, June 1st at 11:59 p.m. for a total of 10 points for the week. And so each week, what you can do is you can be checking these off, and week 1, part 2 is going to be due Sunday. So you've got a lot of work to do. It's just 2 labs, but and we just have 2 lab days. But it's, you know, it can take a little while, so make sure you follow all that up. And so all the assignments, all the dates and all that are summarized here. So like I said, I highly recommend that you take this and put it in a 3-ring notebook. Here I said LA is lab assignment. Those are, they're more like lecture assignments because they're right from the textbook, but they have to do, they're these adaptive learning things through Connect in the textbook. And they'll keep asking you questions until you get them right. So might as well read the book and get it right the first time. VL are virtual labs, and it gives you a little information here about what those are. So I'm going to stop right there, and I'll probably make another video to get you started on lab number 1. So I'd recommend going to week 1, lab 1.